Hi, everyone. Welcome to Run the Dishwasher Twice, thoughts to help you have a more positive outlook. My name is Debbie Lannen, and I will be your host. Now, before we get started today, just a reminder, I'm not a therapist or a counselor. I'm just like you, trying to be happy in this crazy world we live in. Now, today, I'd like to talk about frustrating situations. We all have them. Now, one of the most frustrating situations can be planning to travel. Well, during the pandemic, for almost 2 years, most of us didn't go anywhere. We didn't travel. We stayed at home. We may have had Zoom calls to see our friends and family, but we didn't get to see them in person. And now that things are kind of opening up and we're getting a little bit back to that normal situation, we're starting to all want to travel. That's where the frustrating situation can come in. And that's what I want to talk about today. Now, I have traveled a couple times in the last 2 months, 3 months, and it's worked out pretty well, but I take my time. Now, I do have a trip coming up in a couple days. We are going to see our son, who is actually celebrating his 30th birthday, and I wouldn't miss that for anything. But we are running into some frustrating situations, and that's what I want to talk about. How do we handle those situations? Say you're watching the news and you see the announcement that 700 flights were canceled over the weekend, and then they show pictures of people screaming at flight attendants, yelling at the counter people. Now let's just take a step back and think. Does that solve the situation? By you standing there and yelling at a counter person, do you think that honestly gets a pilot into the seat on the plane to be able to fly it to its destination? Probably not. But I understand that frustration bubbles up. You have somewhere you need to be, you booked that ticket, and you expect to get there. But you want to get there safely. So when those situations come up, which you know they will, I guess the main thing to do is kind of step back. Stop for a second. Remember, that person on the other side of the counter really had nothing to do with that staff not showing up or the pilot becoming sick or whatever the reason. They're just trying to help you get to your destination. You know, the same can be said when you're calling, say, a bank to talk to them. We ran into that frustrating situation last night. My husband's misplaced a credit card. So, of course, we have to call and put a stop on the credit card. What's the first thing that happens? You get the recording telling you, your call is important to us. Please be patient and we will be with you in a moment. Well, that sounds good for about the first 10 times you hear that recording. After that, you want to scream at the phone, I guess I'm not important to you. Now, again, that doesn't solve anything. It just kind of lets you feel a little bit better for the moment. So what I'm trying to say is we're always going to get into frustrating situations. But before we explode and start yelling about them, think if that explosion is actually going to help the situation. Now, if you're on, say, a train and the train is delayed, you getting mad and yelling at a conductor isn't going to make that train go any faster. And all it's going to do is probably raise your blood pressure. So take a deep breath. Know there probably in this situation isn't much you can do. Now, once you get to your destination, then you can call the customer service and tell them what happened and see if they will compensate you. So it's during the exact moment of the frustration, we need to stop and think, how can I make the situation easier for myself and for the person who's working that day? So that's kind of my thought for today. Just 5 minutes to kind of help you feel a little bit better about yourself and maybe a situation that you might be getting into. So again, thank you for listening to Run the Dishwasher Twice. I hope my 5-minute broadcasts have brought a little bit of help into your life. So remember to follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and that way you won't miss any of the upcoming episodes. I hope you have a unfrustrated day today, and remember, run the dishwasher twice. Why not?